Today's topic is how long does it really take for SEO to work? James, I'm going to call you Mr. SEO. You are the man in the know. Do you want to start us off? Let's kick us off.
How long is a piece of string?
Is your answer? It depends.
It depends. It really does. I don't understand why people in business or local business don't put all their efforts into SEO stuff right at the start of their careers. I really don't, because it's like a tree. You plant it, as soon as you plant it and nurture it and look after it, it's going to grow and blossom, and 20 years later you are going to have this amazing tree that's there, it's proud, stands bigger than all the rest, and that is what it's like with SEO. You're not going to get results straight away when you first put a website live. However, if you nurture it, look after it properly, you will have referrals and business coming to you like there's no tomorrow if you do all the right things. So I think SEO is the most important thing that personal trainers and fitness professionals can do to make sure they get found sooner and faster than anybody else. Why do I think that? It's because nobody else is doing it. Nobody else does it or puts the effort in or the time and focus into it. They're focusing on Facebook marketing. They're focusing on TikTok marketing. Right, as we just spoke about on the podcast before, no one thinks about this because it's a little bit more technical, okay? However, when everyone zigs, you want to zag. And this is what I'm talking about here now. So when it comes to SEO, I think you should be putting all your efforts into this. Because if you get to number one in Google, number one in the Google map, like I said several times before, and when you get everything right with SEO and your page and website is fast, you then put a Google ad on top of it, you'll never have to worry about getting leads into your fitness business ever again. And it'll be predictable, it'll be hassle-free, and it'll be like you're doing nothing, as opposed to creating content daily and getting super stressed all the time that goes with it.
What are some of the factors that contribute to getting you to the top of Google, or near the top?
Well, so many things, but you're starting at, let's go. So Google has this ranking system called Double EAT, EEAT, expertise, experience, authority, and trust. That's how it looks at your website to determine whether to rank it or not. So straight away, it's all about the experience. So that means you have to have a very fast website. If your website is not fast, it's not going to get ranked highly, because think about it. How many times do people switch off their phone or go away from a page when it's not loading fast? We expect instant speed, okay? That's really important. That's the first factor, and that comes to the architectural structure of your website. Right, that's the start here. So that's a bit more techie.
What kind of load speed are we talking about?
Fast, less than half a second. We're talking less than half a second.
Wow,
that's fast.
that's if you want to get to number one and you want to get like high and score 90% in Google stuff, that's the speed we're looking at. Right, a second is too long. Like if you're above a second, you're literally looking at maybe 60-70% in Google speed page ranking. Google page speed rankings. So it is important to understand that it's talking lightning speed. So it's got to be a fast website, and most people haven't got that. So you're screwed already. Sorry about that for everybody, but that comes from here. Because most people optimize their website for how it looks, they're not optimizing for speed, but it's the experience that needs to be optimized for first. Then you can do the aesthetics afterwards. That's why I'm a big fan of doing less videos on your homepage to begin with, because you're talking about speed ranking factor first, and then we're doing photos and images as part of it, basically. So that's the first thing. Speed is important. Then it comes down to your authority. So are you building a brand? A trustworthy brand is what Google is looking for. Now, I'm not saying Nike or Apple or Google or stuff like that have been around for years, but what have you got other than your website? Do you have a LinkedIn profile that connects? Do you have your Instagram, Facebook and stuff? Because it looks at all these linking factors. That are you posting? You have content on these other sites coming towards you? Now, not just from Facebook and the social media channels. Do you have people linking towards your website? That's really important, because there's a thing called domain authority. So your domain authority is through expertise, experience, authority, and trust, right? It takes time to develop. So you've got to start planting that tree now and build it over time. So there's multiple factors about ranking fast, but that is the basic architecture right at the start from Google to see are people linking to you? Do they see your content as trustworthy and valuable? And is it fast loading for high experience? And then with that comes, is your website set up to actually link it to Google, so Google can actually understand you and read what you're doing? Because if you're speaking English and they're speaking German, and you can't speak the language, you're going to be screwed. So you need to have what we call schema data in place. So I may be getting a little bit too technical here now, and
what is that in simpletons terms?
Schema data is the translator between English and German for websites, but in terms of your website in Google. So it's telling Google where to look for certain things. I think that's the best way to explain it simply here now. So those are the linking factors. But going back to the original question, how long does it take SEO for it to work? If you know what you're doing and get everything right, and you're in a non-competitive market, which is most of the time in local business areas, okay? And let's use Saskia Ford as an example. We went from having no website to ranking her number 2 in the Google Map Pack and number 1 in Google for sports massage in less than a week. Why? Because that took that long for Google to propagate and start reading the data, but more importantly, there was no competition. She had no competition whatsoever at all in that area. There was no one doing marketing for SEO or doing website design, stuff like that. So she went high straight away, number 1, because nobody else was doing it, but we did.
And let's be honest, it's changed her business completely, right?
It has. And we need to get on the podcast and interview about this, actually, because it has. Now, on the flip side, let's talk about Simon Bradbrook from Stronger Bodies in London. He's based in Forest Hill in London, just outside Dulwich. London, super, super competitive market, right? So he has to do a much more advanced strategy. So not only does he have to have a good website that loads fast, that has links coming to it, he's going to create some more content to show Google that he is regularly updating his website and that he is to be a trusted factor to add to this expertise and experience. Okay, so he's going to do a lot more work for this because there's lots of people competing for the same places. He's also going to do a load of other stuff behind the scenes in terms of getting reviews, getting Google Business up and running and posting regularly on that to show signals to Google that he's a legit business. There's lots of things he has to do. It's a lot more work. But we've managed to get him into the top 3 map pack. Okay, this is important. So it's important to get the map pack first. It takes longer for the website domain to come up to it. So within less than 2 months, we got to the Google Map Pack. That's 2 months for the Google Map Pack. He's still not on page 1 on Google for personal training in Forest Hill. We are working hard. He's now in the middle of page 2. Before, he wasn't even on page 20. So there was a lot of stuff here. So we increased it a lot. But for him, we're looking at a 6 to 12 month, maybe even 18-month period of hard work and labour to get to it. But it's work worth doing because it's going to pay dividends in the long run. Think of the search volume in London for personal trainer near me. It's way higher than it is in Machynlleth, where I grew up in mid Wales, right? Try pronounce that one. Try pronounce that. Or in Llanfairpwllgwyngyll up in North Wales. Try that, right? So think about that.
That's the longest train station in the world, by the way. Andrew, did you have a question for James?
He sort of answered it, but I think if we just come back to it, just to signify the importance and why it's important to appear in the map pack.
Yeah, quite literally. So again, let's use an analogy, an example. You come to Cardiff to visit me. However, I'm late because apparently I'm always late for meetings, according to Josh. Right? So business meeting. Anyway, but you've got an hour to kill, which means you want to find a coffee shop. So what do? You pull up your phone, you go coffee shop near me, and you then look at the reviews. You then look at how the business. You click on the website, have a look at it. Go, yeah, this looks pretty cool. Let's go here. That's your decision made, and maybe a matter of seconds based on visual imagery, reviews, stuff you're doing here. The map pack is the same for most local businesses like personal training, gyms, and things like that. 86% of decisions and buyers make the decision from the map pack. It gets 86% of the traffic on that front page goes to the top 3 businesses in that map pack.
Top 3 in the map pack, yeah.
It is significant. It is huge. If you're not in the map pack, you're missing out on hundreds of leads, potentially. And it's where you need to be first and foremost. So we need to optimize for that to allow you to give you a chance to help rank higher with your website later down the line. And if you have that in place, you are then going to have an infinite number of people coming to you on a regular basis, as long as you have a fast loading website, a clear, concise message that attracts your target audience and market. That is really important.
Something that we talked about a lot, haven't we, Andrew, about coffee shops and restaurants and stuff. We always look, obviously, first at the map pack, and then we look at reviews.
We do. Anybody that knows us, Josh, knows that we're into our coffee, and that's one of the first searches that we do whenever we visit somewhere new. So equally, it's the same for any service-based industry, hence why, as personal trainers or fitness professionals, we need to obviously address that as quickly as we can. And it pees me off no end that, particularly over here on the Isle of Man, where I'm visiting at the moment, that very few have got websites. It's all dependent on Facebook or WhatsApp messages to try and generate traffic, and then they wonder why that they're not getting the amount of leads they need to generate to survive and thrive.
Andrew, I think it's an important point, and that we can compare this to personal training. Let's give an example of a client who comes to you. They want to sign up for 6 months personal training, right? However, they can't get results in a month. They can lose some weight, they can do a little bit here, but over 6 months they've got to commit, because over 6 months they can make some real lasting change. But if they don't commit and they do the workouts, they follow the nutrition plans, they do the homework that we assign them, and they come to the end of 6 months and they go, this training plan hasn't worked. It hasn't worked at all, right? How many times do you hear that sometimes from people who blame everybody else but themselves? But it's about taking responsibility. So the same thing with SEO. You've got to take responsibility for this and commit to it. It's like a training plan that lasts for 6 months. Are you going to do this regularly and consistently? Because if you are, you'll get results in 6 months' time. And it's the hard work and hard gains now that will benefit you long term to allow you to get the results that you want. So if you want that 6-pack, right, you've got to put the hard work in. However, if you don't put the hard work in, you ain't going to get that 6-pack unless you're genetically gifted and on steroids, okay? So with the SEO, it's the same principle. You've got to put the hard work in, but once you do the hard work, it's easy to maintain. And that is why, we spoke about this off air, that when we post articles and blogs on YouTube, on our website now, sorry, couldn't get my words out then. So when we post our new blogs now, we can get them ranked to number 1 very quickly, because we've developed the trust, the authority, and Google regularly searches and crawls our website every day. So if we optimize the keywords, we optimize the speed of the page, and they deliver the high quality content, Google trusts us now. So therefore, if we provide a better article than what's already out there, they'll rank us to number 1. And we're seeing that. And I think it's professionalized fitness business for beginners. We've got 2 articles in the top 3, right? Because we've created high quality content, we've got a fast loading website, and you've got the architecture in place that Google is able to read it from it, and we've got the trust and authority from it. We follow the EAT model, double EAT: expertise, experience, authority, and they trust us. That's it.
There we go. So focus on your SEO, put the hard work in now, and it will pay off down the line. It's all about the long game, guys. That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And if you want to find out what's holding you back from growing your fitness business, get yourself a free website audit by going to strengthmatters.com/audit.